YouTube, what's going on? This is Coach Show, your Lululemon ambassador. I recently helped a professional quarterback improve his acceleration mechanics. Now, this athlete is an athlete. He's not just a quarterback, he also is a bobsled athlete as well. The acceleration is imperative for bobsled, but also for the football field. I want to share the cues that I use with him and the things that we did together. It's taken from this to this. In about 30 minutes. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let's do it. If you're a football player, track athlete, doesn't matter. This all be helpful. Acceleration patterns are all pretty much the same. We started this with an assessment period, right? So from 2-point, I asked him to do some excels, then to 3-point. All right, so this is video 1. This is his first rep. He's in 2-point stance. I'll run it back one more time. We'll go slow. So Jiya looks like a lot of athletes. We talk a lot about hip extension and push to ground. He does that very well. Arms are aggressive, glutes are engaged. If you're like me, you saw the first thing that you want to fix, where I kind of slowed things down. Okay, so in 2-point, we do certain things, and 3-point, we do certain things. Exhibits pretty much the same mechanics. So the first thing I see here is he treats the acceleration like a bound. The back leg stays behind, and there's no real urgency to get to the next step. He's just focused on pushing big and covering as much ground as possible, which is a great thing to do. These excels are pretty good, right? I don't think he certainly could maximize his mechanics, but overall, he's exhibiting good positions, good posture, good force output. A little bit of a toe drag at the beginning, but he has an emphasis to stay low and keep his angles. He understands shin angles, you can tell. One thing I pointed out to him, and if you play 2K, you understand this terminology. The acceleration is perfect release, early release, late release. I told Jiya with each stride, he's at a late release or a slightly late release. And what I look at is the position of his knees. He said it wasn't something he was aware of or thought of. So I thought this is going to be a very fun experience trying to get him to change things. Making this change starts with the hip flexors. I've talked about this in recent videos, and if you're not already, I would appreciate you subscribing to my channel. You'll find a lot of great videos I made recently talking about this very topic. First, I put him in these weighted shorts.
Amen, brother.
My goals for Jiya were very simple. 2 steps to fixing this. 1, can you move your foot backwards underneath your hips? 2, can you drive your knee from behind you forward in front of you? If we can do both these things, we will close the gap between his knees and subsequently improve his velocity in the acceleration. Step 1 was working on a negative step. From a standing position, I simply had Jiya do a 2-point excel, but just work on that very first step. That leg should move backwards underneath the hips. He's using his glutes to move the leg underneath the hips. Angles should look similar to that of an actual run, but we're only focusing on the first step, maybe 2, and then a deceleration. This feeling is very strange. And it's a new type of timing that the body has to get used to, which is why Dr. Ralph Mann in The Mechanics of Sprinting and Hurling says that this change is very difficult, but it has so much benefit once mastered. The weighted shorts were just to emphasize the hip flexors and the glutes, to give a feeling to the extra work or the extra demand that these muscle groups need to generate this new change in pattern. What I really love about Jiya was when we pulled the videos up to watch, he's now seeing it for what we're working on. Man, my knees were good there, or I didn't hit a position there. He's really invested in it. And athletes, when they understand what the objective is, they tend to get very invested in improving it. It doesn't become an arbitrary thing that they're working on. It's very specific. They have buy-in, just like you. Not only the negative step, but I want him to feel himself pull the leg through at the same time. Once Jiya felt he had the rhythm of the drill, then progress it to 3-point, where you feel the negative step, but also now implementing the leg pulling through. To the front side of the body. Then you keep repeating that. If you need a stimulus or an external load, weighted shorts are great. Ankle weights are great. Leg weights are great. Sleds are great. Anything that's going to force you to kind of like slow things down is going to be an awesome choice. Once Jiya felt he had the rhythm of the drill with the weighted shorts, we moved on to resisted. We'll use a 1080, but it could be a sled, it could be a band. It doesn't have to be high tech. Anything that resists the athlete at the hip or resists you at the hip. This first rep was very interesting. Jiya went back to the mechanics we began with, the post position, if you will. Big drive with the knee, but the leg behind was dragging and lagging. There was no intent to get it in front. You can also see the evidence in how his front foot grounds and how his body has to now wait for him to move through it. This excessive ground contact time might not be a big deal to a football player, but to a track athlete, this is precious milliseconds that will get you ahead of your competition or put you behind in a race. Even after that slight mistake on the first step, he doesn't let it ruin the rest of the rep. You can see the leg pulling through, and there's a quickness about him, a speed about him that's not choppy. Like the true professional he is, after I spoke to him about the first step, he made an immediate change. Timing. Last but not least, we progress things to unresisted. To unresisted, I want to see him move without a stimulus or some type of external feedback. Can you do everything that you've just been working on when it's just you? And I think he passed with flying colors. Oh. That is so much better. The movement is quicker. The emphasis to get to the next step is quicker. The space between his knees is almost eliminated on each step. He's done exactly what I've asked him to do. Now let's compare this to those first reps of the workout. I think you would agree that night and day. Jiya, great job. And to any athletes watching this, the changes aren't immediate, but they can be easy if you understand what is to be worked on. First, that negative step on the first step is going to be crucial for your progression in this area. Start with standing reps, get the feeling for it. Then progress it to 3-point stance. That's it for me today, guys. I hope you liked it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thinking about doing a virtual teaching of acceleration patterns. Would you guys be interested? Let me know in the comments. Appreciate you for checking in, and until the next one,